Hey, I'm Jessica, and welcome to Reality Chat. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode where I check off your list with Love Island episodes 20 and 21. Okay, is it just me, or were these two episodes a snooze fest? Honestly, since Jeremiah has left the villa, these episodes have gotten so boring. Casa Amor, boring. These two episodes, boring. Like, what was with this heart rate challenge? Why are producers constantly changing things up? I mean, I think a product of it is there's just way too many people in this villa, and I don't know when they are planning on getting rid of half these islanders, but they need to go. There's so many of them that I'm like, literally, who are you? You have not been on my screen at all. You've gotten no airtime. And how am I supposed to buy into the fact that you're in this couple that you are exploring so deeply? I'm like, if I haven't seen you, I really don't care about your relationship. I'm sorry. And you're obviously not going to make it to the end of the show. So when are they planning on getting rid of everyone? Are they going to be doing a vote maybe? Like, they seriously need to cut the cast down in at least half. Isn't there 11 couples still? This is insane. Like 22 people. Everyone's sitting around the fire pit. They look so crammed. Like they're going to have to pull up a few chairs soon because not everyone can fit around the fire pit. It's just so ridiculous. And these two episodes were really just kind of the aftermath. We had the aftermath of the recoupling in episode 20, and then we had the aftermath of the heart rate challenge in episode 21. There really wasn't that much going on. And I look forward to the heart rate challenge every single year. That is by far always my favorite challenge. It's so entertaining. And I was so disappointed in the heart rate challenge this year. Like, there was way too much going on. I couldn't keep track who was with who's partnered up with who's pulling who aside. Like, it was way too much. There's way too many people. And I think they honestly just lost the plot. They lost the plot of the challenge. It was too much tongue, too much twerk. It was a lot. And we'll get there. So this episode, like I said, it started out with the aftermath of the recoupling. And I mean, the recoupling feels like ages ago now at this point, but everyone is kind of, catching up now. What happened at Casa Amor? What happened in the villa? Because yes, they can see to who they've now newly coupled up with, or now they're in their same couple as previous to Casa Amor, but they don't really know what went down, the girls specifically. The guys pretty much know everything because they had Olandria there to spill all the tea, but the girls were left in the dark, which again is kind of, to me, an unfair advantage for the guys because the girls are now just catching up on everything that went down. The first conversation that we see is with Cierra, Chelley, and Olandria. It looks like these girls are a dynamic trio, if you will. I think, we're not going to obviously compare them to PPG, but I feel like that is something that maybe they are wanting to start up and want to maybe have a catch name for their group. I think, look, they've been there since day one, so I'm not surprised that the three of them have formed this strong girls group and connection. But I think in this group chat, I'm like, it's giving a little bit of Delulu because they're all obviously shocked about Olandria and Taylor choosing Clarke. And Cierra proceeds to say in this conversation that, oh, Olandria, like, I don't understand. You and Taylor are the strongest couple here, or were the strongest couple here. I'm like, Cierra, I don't understand. Like, do you actually believe what you're saying? Or you are actually just trying to make Olandria feel good? Like, or maybe trying to make her feel bad. Because you telling her, oh, you were the strongest couple here, and now she isn't with Taylor anymore, that makes her feel even worse. And also, too, they were never a strong couple to begin with. So what literally are you saying? What are you saying? Maybe now, with Clarke being in the villa with Taylor, maybe now the girls' eyes will, be like, oh, like their eyes will open and be like, oh, they actually, like Taylor actually has a stronger connection with Clarke. And in hindsight, actually, I don't think he had a connection with Olandria at all. It's so obvious to me. I can just see in any scene that you can see Taylor and Clarke in, whether they're in the forefront of the scene, whether in the background of the scene, anytime you see them together, Taylor is interacting with her in a way that he never did with Olandria. He has his arm around her. He's touching her leg, like he's touchy-feely. He wasn't with Olandria for 3 whole weeks. And their whole relationship, we said it from very early on, it felt like there was no chemistry there whatsoever. And at this point, now seeing Taylor with Clarke, it's like, yeah, okay, he can have that physical connection. He just didn't have it with Olandria, and that's okay. Olandria needs to get over it, because I'm getting really frustrated by her, because she's in this conversation. She's saying, I want to close this chapter. I have put so much effort and time and energy into this connection with Taylor and trying to build something. And then, like, the next day or in the next episode, she's like, yeah, he's still my strongest connection. I still want to see where that goes. Olandria, just give it up. If there's no one here on the island for you, that's okay. You've made it now almost until the end. You had your chance to explore things with Jalen. You shot that down. And at this point, I don't see how there can be them bringing any more bombshells on, which again is another reason why this heart rate challenge really got me mad, because they always bring a bombshell to the heart rate challenge. That is always a thing. So, and obviously they didn't, because there was literally, they couldn't fit on the couch. This bombshell would have to stand up in front of them the whole time and not sit down, because there was just literally no more room for anyone to fit on this couch. So Olandria I'm sorry, she needs to give it up. It's not happening between you and Taylor. And I thought maybe when this recoupling happened, I thought maybe that was the nail in the coffin, right? She'd be like, okay, I'm done. He recoupled up with Clarke. Okay, I'm done. But then her now saying, like, 1 minute she's saying, I'm done with him. I need to move on. I need to focus on other connections, which also I'm like, with who? Literally with who? You haven't given anyone else the time or day. The only person now that we're kind of seeing her maybe trying to explore things with is Zach, but I don't see it. To me, it's like a pity connection. Oh, you want to stay in the villa? I want to stay in the villa? Okay, cool. Let's connect and try to make it to the end. Let's try to ride this out. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And I think Olandria honestly has had 9 lives in this season. She's pretty lucky that she's still there, considering that she hasn't had a strong connection with Taylor. And now, I mean, obviously since the beginning, but it's been a week and a half now that she went to Casa more. She got dumped, but then she came back, and then she got saved again. Like, it's been a full week that she literally has been single and hasn't had a connection. Yet she's still here. So she should be lucky, but honestly, she should be counting her days. Not to be rude or anything, but you have kind of done this to yourself. You have put yourself into this position because she's giving all these girls, you need to explore, don't be closed off, explore your connection, but she can't take her own advice. And at this point, I don't see how she can form any connection, because it would just look like it's fake. It would just look like this new connection that she is maybe exploring is starting off because they're desperate to stay into the villa. I'm sorry. And that's what it's going to give. And so at this point, I'm kind of like Olandria, like, yeah, I obviously like you, and I like you as a person on this show, but I think your time is coming to an end on the show. And I think she needs to come to terms with that, because there's just no one here for her. And she's still saying in the back of her mind, oh yeah, Taylor, I'm not going to forget about him. It's hard to move on. He's still here. Okay, so then maybe you need to go because he's obviously not into you. He's made it very clear in choosing Clarke. And I mean, yeah, okay, Taylor's kind of annoying me too, because on one hand, he's choosing Clarke and saying, I want to be with Clarke, and we have so much more than me and Olandria ever did. But then he's saying in his confessionals that he wants to still explore things with Olandria. And it's very confusing to me because he's not telling the guys what he's saying in his confessionals. Have you guys realized that? He's telling the guys, oh, I'm loving this connection with Clarke. I just want to explore with her. We have this strong connection. I never had this with Olandria, especially up until now. It's been 3 weeks and it's been 3 days with Clarke, and it's already so much more. This is what he's telling the guys. But then in his confessionals, one-on-one with the audience, essentially, he's telling us that he still wants to explore things with Olandria. So maybe him, by doing that, he's kind of keeping face. Maybe he's thinking he's keeping face with us, the audience, in like, yeah, no, I chose Clarke, but I still want to explore whatever I have with Olandria. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Or maybe he's just trying to convince himself that he wants to explore things with Olandria, but he doesn't. I don't know. It's just, I'm sorry, but if he's telling his boys one thing, but then is telling the audience something else, like, we're obviously not going to buy it. And we can also see in the way that he acts and interacts with Olandria, it's not there. So we don't buy it at all. Just be happy with Clarke, explore your connection with Clarke, and move on. None of you are making it to the end of the show. None of you are winning the show. You and Clarke are definitely not. And you and Olandria are definitely not. And Olandria and whoever else is definitely not. So you all just need to get over it. Stay in your lane. Explore what you want to explore, but not with each other, please. And move on. Another thing in this episode was the whole Olandria and Nic kissing and them coming clean to Cierra. And I have to say, Cierra at first took this way too nonchalantly. She found out first from Olandria that they kissed, and she was like, girl, it's okay. If it was anyone that he was exploring things with, I'm just glad that it was you versus anyone else in the villa. And she just kept saying, I don't feel a certain type of way about it. She was so understanding about it. And my question is, why? Why are you okay that he and Olandria, like, literally the guy, first of all, the guy that you slept with right before you left for Casa more. And Olandria obviously knew that. Olandria is your girl basically since day one. And I understand that you're on Love Island, and I just said it, you know, Olandria and Taylor and Clarke, like, you guys explore, like, I just said it. But on the flip side, there's girl code too. And I'm sorry, but after over 3 weeks now of knowing each other and knowing that her girl, like Cierra and Nic, were intimate one night, you're going to tell me that it is okay and it's in girl code for Olandria to make out with Nic? And I'm sorry, but that wasn't just a kiss. The way that they're telling Cierra it was just a kiss. All that, like, for all Cierra knows, it was a peck. Like a Taylor Olandria peck. That, for all that she knows. Yeah, okay, they've come clean that they kissed, but they're not, like, wait until Cierra sees that kiss. Because she is way too understanding about it. And the fact that Olandria and, I don't know, I'm just so surprised that this sort of kiss happened between Nic and Olandria, just knowing how good of friends that they are. And now seeing Nic coming out of Casa, he seems like a totally different person. I feel like his ego was definitely shattered coming out of Casa because he did, you know, essentially was supposed to leave the villa because no one chose him. And his whole demeanor has changed. He is so into Cierra now. He's done exploring all his other connections. I mean, you know, he left Casa and explored things with Olandria, but he was so done exploring all of his connections now coming out of Casa, and he just seems like a different person. And I feel like his ego was bruised. No one chose him in Casa. He's the first guy to want to explore other connections. Every single girl that came into the villa, he wanted to explore something with. He never wanted to be closed off. And now all of a sudden, because no one in the villa right now wants him, he's now okay to close things off with Cierra and get frustrated and get mad and want to punch Elan for wanting to still explore things with Cierra, and Elan making her breakfast, and he literally wants to punch the guy. And like, Nic, what are you doing? Because for literally 3 weeks, you have been exploring so many different connections, and you just made out with her best friend. I don't understand. Again, Nic is just giving to Lulu, because in what world is it fair that he just made out with Olandria, her best friend, when Cierra wasn't even in the villa? She wasn't even there, right? And then she comes in, and then he now just seems so overprotective and overbearing, and it's just way too much. And it's just so unfair. I'm just getting really confused, because on one hand, Sierra's like, yeah, in this episode, I still want to maybe explore things with Elan. Yes, I've really missed Nic, but like, I'm not going to tell Elan no. But then it's like, if Elan does try to pull her for chats, or maybe even does try to lean in for a kiss, she doesn't want to have it. So then Cierra, what is it? Like, in this episode, it's like, make a decision, make a call. Don't string Elan on, because he can then focus on making a connection with someone else. Like, maybe him and Olandria can try and form a connection. Maybe him and Amaya can form a connection. I don't know. Because we need Amaya to have a good guy, please. But anyways, I feel like Cierra is stringing him along a little bit, again, just in this episode, because in the next episode, we see her and Nic coupling up. So obviously, she never wanted to explore things with Elan the moment she got into the villa. And I also would say she never wanted to explore things with him in Casa more. Maybe she says she did, but she didn't. She was just thinking about Nic. So to me, it's like, okay, you already knew that you wanted to close things off with Nic. Just be open and honest with Elan. Just tell him, look. And I think maybe she's trying to do this because we all know Sierra is a massive fan of Love Island. I think she had like a Love Island themed birthday party or something like that. She's friends with people that were on the show. She's a fan. And so I think now I'm starting to look at the way that she's moving in the show, and it's very strategic, doing all of the right things. Okay, I was with Nic since day one. Cool, but we never closed it off. Went to Casa more. I explored, with air quotes, things with Elan, but she never did because she was so closed off. Then she comes to the villa. It's still not, closing things off, and it's still trying to balance Nic and Elan. But again, she didn't want to be with Elan. But then in the next episode, she closes things off with Nic, and Nic is the one that said to her, let's close things off. She never brought it to Nic's attention. He's the one that said it. So I just think she's moving in a way that I think she's like, okay, in order for us to win this show, or for me to win the show, these are all the strategic moves that I need to make. And it all needs to happen in this order. It all needs to happen in this timely manner. And I don't know. I really don't buy her and Nic. I think if they make it to the end and they leave the villa, I give it 6 months. I give it 6 months max. I'm not seeing it. I don't see anyone leaving this villa lasting. There's no way. What other couples are there? Literally none. It's crazy. It's crazy that like all the couples from last year have lasted. I mean, majority of them. Then you have Kayla and Aaron that are a hot mess, but they all lasted from last year. And yeah, okay, we had doubts. I had doubts with Janae and Kenny. For sure I had doubts. I didn't think they were going to make it, but there's absolutely no way these couples are making it out of this season. There's no way. And if her and Nic do, like I said, I give them 6 months max. So then Cierra has a conversation with Iris and lets it slip, I guess, or Iris didn't even know that Olandria and Nic had kissed. Sierra's like, wait, you didn't know that? I actually really liked Iris's reaction, because I feel like that's how I would have reacted. she's like, wait, what? They kiss? Like, and you're okay with that? Like, there's girl code. That's your girl. Like, why would she be kissing Nic and they're exploring? Like, what? They just looked at each other and said, okay, let's explore, and then just started kissing? Like, I don't think, I'm seeing a lot of different opinions online. Should Iris have reacted that way? Was it maybe a little bit too much? I personally don't think it was too much. Like, again, like, I get you're on Love Island and you should be exploring, but I also just think, like, Olandria, what were you thinking? Because that is your girl. And did Olandria really think there was something between her and Nic? Enough so for her to make out with him? I don't know. I just think, too, if they did want to explore things, did the makeout need to be that steamy? Like, look how Nic was touching her. I don't know. I personally think it was too much. I think she did too much. And honestly, what Cierra is going to see at movie night, it might be the downfall to her and Nic's relationship. It very well might be. And I can't wait for movie night. It has to happen soon because we know that the end date of the season is, I believe it's Sunday, July 13th. We're almost there, guys. We're like 10 days away. And I mean, not to say that I'm like relieved because I really do love this show, but I'm going to be honest, I'm exhausted. Recapping every single episode has been a lot. I've learned a lot, that's for sure. I've gotten a lot of practice, that's for sure. But I mean, I've never really, not that I'm looking forward to an ending, but kind of a little bit. Honestly, too, like, if I was really enjoying this season, if this season was giving every single episode, and if there were couples that I could buy into, if there were couples that actually fell in love and were there really for the experience and indulged in the experience, like, yeah, okay, then I probably would be saying something different too. Like, no, like, it was such a great season. We got so much out of it. All these things, like, compared to last year, or maybe it didn't compare to last year, but it was still just as good. I think the season started off really strong. Then there were so many mistakes that were made, and the biggest mistake was letting Jeremiah off the show. The producers should have never let that happen. That honestly was the downfall of the rest of the season. It truly was, because think about all the things that have happened with Jeremiah leaving. Nothing, literally nothing. The next day they go to Casa more, stay in the villa. These new people come in and no one is really wanting to form new connections other than the people that were already single to begin with. They come back to the villa. They do this heart rate challenge that is super boring. It's just giving nothing. So since Jeremiah left, yeah, I get it. The drama between him and Huda, it was a lot. It was toxic. It was hard to watch. I'll be the first to admit, it was hard to watch, and I remember even saying, like, they need to do something about it because it's exhausting. But I think when Jeremiah was right before Jeremiah left the villa, when him and Huda patched things up, quote unquote patched things up, I think they could have moved forward in a cordial way, just knowing that, like, he was into Angelina. And then now with Huda and Chris, like, there's just so many things that could have happened. And I wish we could have seen the connection between Jeremiah and Angelina play out. I mean, look, Angelina is nowhere to be seen anymore, which is crazy to me because she was such a hot commodity. She's a beautiful, hot girl. But she comes in the night before Casa. Jeremiah leaves, or 2 days before Casa. He leaves. Then Casa happens. And now everyone, I feel like all the guys have forgotten about her. I don't understand. So anyways, I just think Jeremiah leaving was the worst thing that could have happened on this season. And it's just shocking that people are being saved, like Olandria. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, Queen Olandria, we love the girl, but she's boring. She's not connecting with anyone. So why are we so adamant on saving Olandria, but we couldn't have saved Jeremiah? I don't get it. I think it was the worst move of the season. And sorry, I know I'm getting off track here. I was talking about Iris and Cierra, talking about the kiss with Olandria, but still, it just goes to show that, like, this season could have been really great, but I think just certain moves, and look at Yulisa. if Yulisa didn't leave on the second day, this would have, to me, it would have been a totally different show. Ace wouldn't have been single. She would have been with Ace. Or maybe it would have been someone else. Like maybe Yulisa was never cast on the show. There's just so many factors, and I get it. That's with any reality show for sure. But I do think there were things in the producer's control to make certain things not happen, i.e., don't cast someone that says racial slurs, and that literally was out there before you even had her on the show. That was mistake number one. And then mistake number two is having Jeremiah leave. So anyways, those are just my thoughts on this season overall. Let's get into Cierra, Nic, and Oland. I know I touched on them earlier, but there's still quite a lot of things that I do want to say about them. Like, first of all, what pancake place is there out there that needs a sponsorship from them? I guess in the States, I mean, Denny's, IHOP. Is IHOP still a thing? I don't know. Like, there needs to be a pancake sponsorship with these people because, man, oh man. First of all, they make pancakes every single day. But then everyone's getting angry over pancakes. We remember Huda and Jeremiah, the pancake gate. And then now Huda's getting mad. Huda's getting mad at Chris again about pancakes. Not Chris again, but getting mad about pancakes again now with Chris. Because he made Chelley 2 pancakes. Huda only got 1. He put a flour in Chelley's pancakes. Huda didn't get any. I'm like, yo, pancake gate. But then Oland made Cierra's pancakes in Casa in the shape of a C. I don't know why she proceeded to tell Nic that he did that, but she did. So then Nic is getting all butthurt on the fact that he cut his pancake into a C. So what does Nic do? He cuts a pancake into a C, brings it up to Cierra. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it's just so lame of things that these people are arguing about and the things that kind of like tick people off in this villa. It's so ridiculous. I guess like maybe they're just delirious at this point. You have been nonstop the past 30 days pretty much. So maybe they're just like over it and every little thing is going to set them off because they're just, at this point, maybe they're just like not seeing straight and not thinking right. But honestly, get these people a pancake sponsorship. It's absolutely hilarious. Before the heart rate challenge, Nic says to Cierra, look, if you do anything crazy with Oland, I'm literally going to crash out. And so he tells her, like, I'm not going to kiss anyone during the heart rate challenge. And did you notice Cierra never said the same thing? Cierra never said, oh, okay, cool, I'm not going to kiss anyone either. She was like, yeah, you know, don't worry, I won't go crazy. I won't do anything crazy. But he verbatim is like, I'm not going to kiss any other girls. I mean, Cierra is making out with guys and girls in this heart rate challenge, which again, we'll talk about. But I don't know. I think we're seeing Nic in a very different light. And I don't think this is actually who Nic is. It's not. I just think he, like I said, his ego was bruised. He is just mad and upset of the fact that, oh my gosh, no one chose me. And is now trying to focus in on Cierra. But I feel like, and he even said it to Cierra when they closed things off. He's like, look, I came into this villa just to have fun. And that's what I said from the beginning. I'm like, Nic wanted to come here, have fun for a good time and a long time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't buy into them. But at this point, it's like, they're the only people that we can buy into right now because they're literally the only strongest couple in the villa. So I'm curious to see movie night. I think that's going to be the biggest thing on what happens between Nic and Cierra because she can really decide. It'll be in her hands. Do I suck it up and patch things over with him in order to make it to the end? Because again, like I said, she knows the show. Or do I have a downward spiral and I can't look him in the face and we're just done? It really can be those two things. So we'll see. I can't wait. I'm excited for it. Okay, let's talk about Ace, Chelley, and Chris because this little 3-way triangle that they have going on is, again, Ace. This guy has wanted to chat with every single girl and couple up with every single girl in the villa before exploring things with Chelley to its fullest. He now, after Casa knows it's go time. Okay, Chelley, it's you and me. We gotta lock in because we have a game to play. And the things that he's saying to Chelley, again, it's so obvious that this guy is just playing a game. He says to her, I'm prepared to go at war, in reference to Chris, because he doesn't like the fact that Chelley wants to explore things with Chris. He also says something around the lines of like, I don't like losing. Losing. Again, to me, it's a double entendre. You're talking about you don't like losing, like you don't want to be the guy that doesn't get the girl. But then if you don't get the girl, that means you don't make it to the end. So I see right through you, Ace. I've said it since the beginning. You give me player vibes, and you are here for one thing and one thing only, and it's to win the money. And I'm going to be honest, at this point, I feel like I would rather someone just take all of the money, because I don't buy anything these people are selling. Can we just get Amaya to the end and Amaya just take all the money and call it a day? Because there's like, I can't buy any of these couples, and I really don't see America voting Nic and Cierra as the number one couple. I just don't see it. I think what's going on social media right now, and kind of like these waves of obsessions, I would say, and kind of like, today we like Huda, so now we're gonna vote her our favorite person in the house, and then she's not gonna risk being eliminated. Oh, today we love Amaya, so now we're gonna get her to 1 million followers. Oh, today we don't like Cierra, so now we're gonna just unfollow her, and now she's lost over 200,000 followers. Like, there's a very strong movement going on right now on social media. So you cannot tell me that, looking at literally, this just happened the past 2 days. Everyone with what has come out with Cierra, she had a racist Instagram story that came out, as well as in another episode, which I'll recap on the next episode, something that she said. Paired with those two, she's now lost 200,000 followers. So you're trying to tell me the strongest couple in the house right now, America is going to vote them as the number one couple just based on everything I just said? No way. At this point, everyone's obsessed with Amaya. I think Amaya, whatever, she needs to form some sort of relationship and couple. I want to see Amaya with Chris. I would love seeing Amaya with Chris. I think that would be such a good pairing. I know Chris has a thing with Huda. I know Chris wanted to be with Chelley, but now he says in the next episode that he's pulling away. He doesn't say he's done with Chelley, but he says he's pulling away. I would love to see Amaya with Chris. But at this point, Amaya needs to find some sort of connection, because that is her only chance to make it to the end. Because I'm telling you, the movement online is so strong that we are, I can't say we because I'm not even allowed to vote, but the public can literally manipulate absolutely anything in what they want to do. There's this whole movement. Okay, we don't want to send Huda home. Let's all vote her as our favorite house guest, or not house guest, that's Big Brother, our favorite Islander. So anyways, it's pretty crazy how much power the public has. I mean, I think that's the beauty of the show, but it can also be a little bit scary, quite honestly. I mean, we saw it in the Jeremiah vote. Everyone was so adamant on voting for Huda, and, oh, we need to save Huda, but everyone forgot about Jeremiah. And that's why he left. So anyways, back to Ace, Chelley, and Chris. With Ace, wanting to win. I don't know. I'm really confused with Ace and Chelley right now, because Ace is basically talking like he's been into Chelley since day one. This guy has coupled up with every single girl just to, put on a face that, oh, I'm exploring and I'm trying and I'm making all these connections. And now, after doing all that, and now Casa, now it's like go time. He's saying, I want to be with Chelley. Why doesn't Chelley want to 100% be with me? I don't understand why she's exploring things with Chris. And I'm like, but Ace, like, that's literally what you've been doing up until this point. So now you can't have your cake and eat it too. If Chelley wants to explore things with Chris, she can explore things with Chris. You guys aren't closed off. And I don't know. I just think the tables have turned. And obviously Ace doesn't like it because he's the butt of the joke, essentially. And I don't know. Chelley's confusing me. I'm like, girl, just choose. At this point, just choose. If you don't want to be with Ace, then go with Chris. If you don't want to be with Chris, then go with Ace. If you don't want to be with anyone, then you're going to be off the island. But I think at this point, I think people need to start figuring out their connections. people are still exploring, and we're a week and a half away from the finale. This is unprecedented. This is crazy. So to me, Chelley needs to choose and stop stringing people along. So I think both are at fault, to be honest with you. That's just what I think. And again, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's Love Island. You shouldn't be exploring. But I'm sorry, we're post Casa. Chelley has been an OG. At this point, if her connection with Ace isn't strong enough to take over the relationship with her and Chris, then go with Chris. Like, she needs to make a decision. I'm sorry. She's going to have to make a decision because there's going to be a recoupling. But then also, too, now it's like, I feel like Chris has kind of made that decision for her because he's putting more energy and time into Huda because he's not a dumb guy. I don't know if he's that into Huda, but if he doesn't form a connection, then he's gone. So I honestly just really don't know. But I just think with Ace, you know, just saying to Chelley, look, I don't understand why you want to explore things with Chris. It's like, but you literally were exploring things with all these other people before Casa more. So I'm sorry, but it's like, it's giving hypocrite. And I'm not here for it. Ace, he's really, Ace is not in my good books. Let's just say that. All right, let's talk about this heart rate challenge. Honestly, like I said in the beginning, number one, way too many people. Way too many people. And for those of you that have never watched Love Island before, this wasn't a typical heart rate challenge. There were a lot of things that were different. I'm telling you, go watch a previous season. Any other season does it right. It's so much better, and it should have been so much different. I found it very hard to follow. I didn't know who was going with who. The costumes didn't make any sense. Like, why was Iris a Dalmatian, but then TJ was a doctor? Like, just there was no continuity between the costumes, between the partners. Like, it was just giving Spirit. What's that Halloween store? Halloween Spirit something. You know what I'm talking about. It's giving that because honestly, I was not into it. There was not giving sexy. It was literally giving whatever the Halloween costume's called, or the Halloween store is called, Spirit, whatever, Spirit Halloween. I don't know what it's called. I never go there. I don't like Halloween. Usually in the heart rate challenge, it's one-on-one. And typically the girls go first. The guys aren't even there. Like, the guys aren't even watching, from what I remember. The girls go in, they do their thing one by one on each guy. And then they all go up on the balcony and they watch and they cheer on their girls. And then they're watching the guys do it. But they're not around the fire pit. They're up on the balcony. So no one, like, yeah, okay, they know that they're there, but they're out of sight, essentially. And then there's always a bombshell that comes at the very end. Cassie came last season. And what was the other guy's name? Harrison? Yeah, Cassie and Harrison came last season, I believe, during this challenge. It was not the typical heart rate challenge at all. The couples going together. Like, the whole idea of the heart rate challenge is to make sure that you get your couple's heart rate up, so that if someone else got their heart rate up, you'd be like, oh, wow, I danced on you so hard. I wanted to get your heart rate up, but then someone else got your heart rate up and not me, your partner. That's what the whole heart rate challenge is about. But this whole thing just lost the plot because you can't get your partner's heart rate up because you're not trying to. You're not wearing heart rate monitors when you're doing your little dance up there. So I just think the whole plot was lost on this one. Again, too many people. I think it was maybe just too early on in the season that they did the challenge. Maybe if they got rid of half of the people, then they could have done it in a few episodes from now. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing this season. I don't know if they're just trying to do different things, but they're losing the plot on everything, quite honestly. And just stop changing things. Just stop. There's things that don't need to be changed. I really don't have much to say about anyone, honestly. Like, Austin, ew. Like, he was not giving. I thought Andina looked amazing. Amaya looked amazing. I loved it. All the girls wanted to kiss Sierra, and I think it was Amaya that started that train. And I mean, let's get into the elephant in the room, honestly, because it was essentially what went down between Huda, Ace, and Chelley. Before I do that, first of all, Huda, the flip up she did on Chris, like, what the actual wow. She literally, I'm like, girl, like, she obviously caught everyone off guard. Listen, there's, you can do your own research. There's things that are going around online that she might be a midnight dancer, if you will. And this kind of proved it. I'm not going to lie. So anyways, the moves that girl can do, it kind of goes to show that maybe that rumor that is going around online is true. But anyways, needless to say, and it's like, you did that flip up on Chris, but there was no point to do it on him because you're not monitoring his heart rate because you're his partner. Like, this whole situation, this whole challenge was just not, I didn't like it. I didn't like the structure, and it was just, it was just not good. But anyways, let's talk about the drama. So what happened between Huda and Ace? Huda goes up, grabs Ace, and they did it because essentially they grabbed each other's partners, right? Like, I think some people are forgetting that. Huda didn't just pull Ace to just pull Ace. She did it because the people that they pulled was Chelley and Ace. And Chelley used to be partnered up with Chris, and I guess that's why they did it. And so Chelley's obviously partnered up with Ace, so they pulled them too. I guess Huda could have chosen anyone, but the way that I viewed it was she chose Ace because that's Chelley's partner. So they bring him up, and literally who knows what went down up at the front, because I feel like we weren't shown anything. My opinion is this. I think both things can be true. I think both people can be right. If I look on the side of Huda, it's a challenge. And anyone, like, we see how the way that people move and interact and make out and kiss and do all of that in a challenge. We've seen it, right? Like, tongues are flying, asses are everywhere. So to Huda, she's looking at it from, it's just a challenge. Don't take anything to heart about it, because what I'm doing, I don't really mean anything about it. Okay, so that's what, Huda can be right in what she's saying. But then, on Chelley's side, and I do think both things can be true, but I am leaning on the side of Chelley right now. Yes, it's a challenge. However, you are supposed to be my girl. And when Jeremiah was in the villa, first of all, none of us touched him because you had this massive bubble over him. If we even laid a finger on him, you would have reacted. Okay? 100%. Like, so right in that. I also think there's boundaries. And the way that Huda moved in that challenge, what she was doing to Ace, I think was so uncalled for. And again, like, she's bouncing on him. And there's things that I think that just weren't shown because I think it was too much to show even on a streaming service. And that's saying a lot. And she didn't need to go that far. Sure, Chelley wouldn't have been upset if you pulled him, laid him down, and made out with him. But then you proceeded to just bounce on him, potentially even put your ass in his face. That's maybe what I'm hearing that happened. I think it was just so uncalled for and unnecessary. And I think when you think about the challenges, people pull people in the challenges on who they maybe want to let them know, you're catching my eye. I'm into you. I want to explore you. That is typically what a challenge is for, is when you want to kind of tell someone or show them, like, look, I'm into you. And by Huda just literally going so hard and in on Ace, to me was maybe showing Ace, I'm into you. Ace, I think, hates Huda. Like, I don't think Ace wants, there's no way. Ace doesn't want Huda at all. Like, no, not a chance. But Ace enjoyed it. Like, Ace literally grabbed her ass and was bouncing, like he was enjoying it. He was actively participating in this event, which then leads me to not understand why Chelley is only mad at Huda and why she's not mad at Ace. There's two people that partaked in this event, essentially. And if she's mad at Huda, then she should also be mad at Ace. That's kind of where Chelley loses me. So what I think is both people can be right. Yes, it's a challenge, but yes, you took it too far. And you didn't need to go so hard and go so in on Ace. And then we also saw too, when it was over, literally Chelley got up from Chris, walked over to sit down by the fire pit, and Huda and Ace are still going at it. So it's like, you guys just did too much. They're still going at it when the challenge was over. So yeah, of course Chelley's going to be upset. But Chelley, I'm sorry, you should be upset with both parties. Not one, both. And I just think Chelley never liked Huda. And so maybe it was kind of just like, oh, convenient. I really don't want to be around Huda. She annoys me. So it's a perfect opportunity for me to be mad at Huda because I just genuinely don't want to be around her and don't care to talk to her. I could also see that maybe a little bit. I also think Ace is losing me too because, look, in this challenge, Chelley, yes, the girl like put her leg up on Chris, did the vertical splits on him in the challenge, and Ace is getting mad at Chelley for doing that. But then Ace, look at what you just did with Huda. There's just way too many double standards in this. And again, I just think, yeah, maybe the producers knew what they were doing in having everyone around the fire pit in this challenge and partnering people up. Like maybe they knew that it was going to result in this mess. But I also just think this whole, like the whole challenge, the whole heart rate challenge, the plot was lost in the sense of you're supposed to see who's like, I know it's a stupid challenge, but you're really like the whole drama is supposed to be like, oh, I was supposed to get my partner's heart rate up, and instead I actually got someone else's heart rate up. And then there's the aftermath in that way. And then, yeah, like people can maybe see how other people are kind of interacting. But I think this whole challenge just got so, it was just a mess. It was a mess. And I don't think they should ever do it like this again. I really don't. Oh my God, Nic licking Olandria's toes, sucking her toes. What the heck was that? Literally, he was grossing me out. And then wasn't he lying down, kissing or licking Chelley's toes and just staring at everyone? Anyways, I don't know what Nic was doing. And I mean, he stuck to it. He didn't kiss anyone. Instead, he was just licking people's toes. So anyways, I think, look, the next episode was equally a disaster because everyone was debriefing after this challenge. But just to close the loop on Huda and Chelley and Chris and Ace and kind of that debacle, to me, I think both things can be true. But I think Chelley, in my opinion, is right in feeling the way that she does. And I'm on her side. Like, I know it's like, whose side are you on, Huda or Chelley? I'm going to say it here. I'm on Chelley's side. Sorry. Okay, so let's get into the next episode. We see in the next episode that Huda pulls Chelley for a chat, which I thought was good. I thought it was good that Huda took the ownership to try and pull Chelley for a chat to, I guess, talk about it, apologize, like whatever she wanted to do. She pulls her aside, and then Chelley tells her, you know what? I am not in the right headspace. I know I'm annoyed right now because this was literally right after the challenge. It wasn't the next day. It was right after the challenge. And she's like, can we just talk tomorrow? I'm not in the headspace to talk. I know I'm probably going to say something that maybe I don't mean. Can we just chat tomorrow? So I thought it was good on both ends. Huda knew she did something wrong. She pulled her for a chat. And I also I was okay with the fact that Chelley was like, look, let's not talk today. I'm not ready. Let's talk tomorrow. However, both of these girls lost me the next day because, first of all, there was never a chat. Chelley never pulled Huda aside for a chat. It didn't happen. So that was that. And again, kind of proves my point of I don't think Chelley cares to patch things up with Huda because I don't think she cares to be friends with her. And then Huda then going over to Amaya right after Chelley basically told her, no, let's talk tomorrow, and telling Amaya she doesn't want to talk to me. Chelley never said that. Chelley said, let's talk tomorrow. I don't want to talk right now, but let's talk tomorrow. But Huda is painting a whole other picture to other people and saying she doesn't want to talk to me. She's crying. And she's just constantly, this is the thing about Huda. She victimizes herself, misconstrues words to make herself be the victim. She does it all the time. She did it with Jeremiah. She does it in every single situation. She goes up to Olandria and says, I'm a terrible person. Again, just victimizing herself. And Olandria, you can just see, she's like, you're not a terrible person. What you did, yeah, it was a bit much. Wasn't great. And Olandria gets up because Olandria's just like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to hear it. I think it just proves, especially the OGs, they're all super annoyed with Huda. And you can even tell Huda's hanging out with some of the Casa girls. And you can just tell the OG girls are annoyed. And I mean, rightfully so, I guess, because the way that she's been acting, the way that she paints herself as the victim, that's exhausting and that's annoying. So, I mean, I do think Chelley should have chatted with her about it. I don't know if that chapter is ever going to be closed. I don't know if they're ever, like, I don't know. You know, we'll have to see, but it doesn't make sense. Why would they, in an episode or two or in a few episodes from now, bring this back up? Like, I feel like it's done. Huda's moving forward with Chris. I think Ace and Chelley are moving forward with each other. I don't know. It's kind of questionable because, again, it's weird to me that she's only mad at Huda. And like, this guy was enjoying it, even though maybe, yeah, okay, he hates Huda and doesn't want to be friends with her or whatever it is. Like, I think he was enjoying it. She looked at his face. And did you notice everyone after the challenge, after Huda and Ace got up and went back to the fire pit, everyone is like shocked. Jaws dropped. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think something definitely happened that we didn't see. And everyone is like, it's just a challenge. Like, Pepe is like, it's just a challenge. Ace is like, it's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. Everyone's like, it's just a challenge. And it's like, okay, so what did we see? Because if it is just a challenge, I mean, a makeout isn't going to suffice. You know what I mean? So what actually did happen? So anyways, I'm sure we're not going to get that answer on the show, but I hope when they get out of the show and they go on all these podcasts, because you best believe that's what's going to happen. Maybe someone will ask Chelley for sure. And hopefully she'll say exactly what happened, because I am so curious. I'm so curious because I do think Huda took it too far. I really do. And I just think the way that Chelley approaches her conversations with Ace, it's like, okay, you're going into the confessionals and we can see, like, you're mad, you're angry, you're annoyed. You are saying it's both of their wrongdoing. It takes two, right? But then it's like when you are one-on-one with Ace, you're just telling Ace to his face, it's just Huda that you're mad with. So again, it's just, these people are saying one thing, they're saying another, saying one thing in their confessionals and then saying another to each other. It's just really annoying. Honestly, it's really annoying. So I really don't buy Ace and Chelley at all. I think it's going to be a downward spiral from here. I do, because I don't think they have a solid foundation. I really don't. And I think this is just one thing out of many that, look at the way that Ace has treated Chelley throughout this show. He's wanted to explore, and he's just approached it from a game point of view. I think Ace and Chelley don't really have a chance to make it far in the end. Like, I think they're not going to win. That's for sure. A lot of people aren't liking Ace. It's unfortunate because everyone loves Chelley, but her associated with Ace, she's not going to make it far. And again, I don't understand why she didn't continue things with Chris, because I think they are the better match. I think he's the better match for her. And I think maybe in the recoupling in a few episodes ago, maybe she knew that if she didn't pick Ace, then he was going to go home. And that's kind of why her and Huda had this pact. Like, okay, you choose Chris, I'll choose Ace, like, team, you know? But I just think, to me, it's kind of clear that she doesn't really want to be with Ace right now. And maybe she's kind of just backpedaling and backtracking and be like, oh, shoot, what do I do now? Because now Huda and Chris is developing this connection. But now I actually want to continue to explore things with Chris. Because if her and Ace were so sure about each other, then wouldn't they be closed off by now? Why aren't they closed off? Why, again, we're a week and a half away from the finale and they haven't closed things off, yet they're two OGs? It doesn't make sense. Something's up. So again, these people can, not that they can count their days, but you're not making it to the end. And Ace is probably over there just trying to strategize. What can I do in order to be America's #1 sweetheart? It's not going to happen. I still don't know who's going to win. I think it's going to be Amaya Papaya. I think whoever she's coupled up with is going to make it to the end and be the #1 couple. But I hope Amaya takes all the money. Can you imagine? I think that would be such an epic ending because there's just no couples. Like, I literally don't care who makes it to the end in a couple-wise, right? So I'm like, at this point, just give Amaya the Papaya all the money. She's made it to a million followers. Her and Huda are the first Islanders to make it to 1 million followers on Instagram, which is absolutely insane. And again, which is why it's crazy to me that, like, 2 weeks ago, everyone was on the I hate Huda train. And now all of a sudden she has over 1 million followers on Instagram and well over 1 million followers on TikTok. I don't get it. And that is what I'm saying. Like, that is the power of the show. It's crazy the power that the show has and how they're able, like, how the public is able to rally together in order to get what they want. It's crazy. Like, you have to jump on the train and you have to jump on the train quickly. So it's wild. It's pretty cool to see, but it can be scary in certain situations because people can get ganged up on, you know, and it's any power is scary and could be scary. So just seeing the power that this show has on the public is absolutely wild. What else do I want to talk about on this episode? Honestly, this episode was like, I saw someone wrote, they were like, this episode could have been sent via email. Like, I couldn't agree more. This episode was really boring and it was really just about, like, the aftermath of the challenge and people just having conversations. Like, nothing really happened in this episode. I already touched upon the Huda and Chris pancake gate and all that. I think, look, the only last thing that I'll say is the fact that Chris said to Huda that he likes emotionally unstable women. What was that? Is that even a thing? Why would a guy say, oh, I'm attracted to emotionally unstable women? Isn't that a red flag? I mean, I don't think Huda has it in her to detect a red flag, but that is a massive red flag if I've ever heard one. So I don't know, maybe they are perfect for each other because clearly Huda is emotionally unstable and I think Chelley is emotionally stable. So I don't know, we'll see with them. And I like Chris, but I think Chris and Chelley should be together. So again, I think this island is a hot mess. I think this villa is a hot mess. I think there's just way too many people on this show. A lot of them need to go. There's half of them need to go. There's so many people I just don't care about. No offense. Grayson, Pepe, Brian. I'm sorry, like I like Andina, but like you're not on the show. So Andina, like there's so many of them that just need to leave. I like Iris, but TJ, like I don't know. I just can't. And it's like Iris and TJ, haven't even talked to them about them, but it's like they look like a strong couple, but no one's talking about them because they don't get any airtime. So I don't know what's going on with this season. I don't know what's in the water in Fiji, but something is going down because this season is just not the vibe. I'm not loving it. With Jeremiah gone, it's been really boring. But, I mean, we have a week and a half left. We only have a few episodes left. So we'll ride it out until the end. And I will be back before you know it to recap episode, I guess it's 22 and 23. Like, yeah, we're nearing the end. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please rate, subscribe, review, do all of the things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at yourrealitycheck.pod. And I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye.